players, the personalities who come from around the world to play professional soccer in the United States.
Go, go, USA! Oh, it's incredible!
In a world where some call it football, football, or soccer, they dare to call it foosball. One thinks New York is blue. The other thinks New York is red. The other thinks soccer in America. From a German perspective. Let them put some sauerkraut on your hot dog. And join them for hot dog. The Schnitzel Boys USA Hour. USA Hour.
Yeah! New York City is red, baby. It's been red this year when it counts. New York is red. Welcome to episode 149 of the Schnitzel Boys podcast and YouTube show. We're live on YouTube right now if you're listening later. Seba S. right in the chat was waiting on you, man. New York is red. Seba S. was at the game. Seba S. You were one of the guys out yelling the entire light blue Quiet Boys. You're a pin drop in that NYCFC fan section. It was Red Bull all day. I was watching on Apple TV here on the West Coast. 90 minutes. Let's go Red Bulls. I was just like, is there a Red Bull crowd? But Seba S. you did well. NYCFC fans were quiet all game. Bjorn, what was up? Was there a baby trying to sleep in the? Were you guys trying to get a baby to sleep in the supporter section, or why were you guys so quiet?
Should I say something about Greg Berhalter?
Oh, not yet.
We'll get there.
I didn't think we were so quiet. I heard this too. I've heard this. I was on the.
Did you get baby sleep? Did it work?
On the other side, I thought we were. I mean, obviously, I was in or next to the supporter section. So I thought we were pretty loud. I didn't hear any, but I guess I've heard this too. That seemed like the Red Bulls, people. I mean, we fell behind early. You know. I mean, we fell behind early. It was a bit of a bummer. It was a bit of a bummer. There was definitely we were a little depressed. It's not, we were a little depressed. It can't be denied. But I mean, I think starting out, I think. Did you have that impression right from the beginning? Did you have that impression right from the beginning? Or
TV broadcast? Did they put the mics next to the road support? The only thing I heard was this was definitely a theme. I heard this too. Being there, I mean, obviously on our side, I didn't hear the Red Bull fans at all. I guess this was a thing. I'm not complaining. I'm just throwing some shade.
I mean,
Red Bull fans came out.
Yeah.
Great game. Seba S. was there.
No, it was not a great game.
No, it wasn't. Bjorn, listen. In every MLS fandom, I've experienced this 27 times now or whatever. There's a time at the end of the season, during the playoffs, where your heart breaks.
Everybody but one team ends the season on a loss. Yeah.
I'll talk about that in a second for unrelated reasons, for other stuff. But there was a great thread on Reddit, I'm a big Reddit boy, where it was like, what obscure player is like, I forgot what the exact question was, but it's like, name a player that you associate with your heartbreaking moments. And for me, it would always be Nick DeLeon. Nick DeLeon broke my heart. 2012, DC United, or 2011, I think it was 2012. The snow game. I was at Red Bull Arena. Nick DeLeon never scored goals ever. But when it came to us, he scored a late winner and knocked us out. I went home depressed. Just broke my heart. But sometimes you're allowed to win. And I was really worried about Red Bulls going to City Field. It's your territory. NYCFC got us twice this year, so it's psychological damage. But we came ready to go. My worries.
But this really played out the way I feared and sadly expected. Like I thought. Yeah, I mean, what's that?
Seba has audio notes. Seba S, help us out. Why are my mics weird? We do need audio help. Are they too loud or what's going on?
Oh, we're having trouble.
Test. Well, Seba, let us know if we sound the same. We don't have live monitoring, so let us know or if we are live monitoring.
It's like it's coming. Yeah, it's coming in. It's coming in well.
Green and yellow to me.
From what I'm hearing, but
anyway, if we're too loud, let us know. Sorry. What were you saying, Bjorn?
I was saying, I don't know.
We are a little loud. How do I test? Here, speak for me, Bjorn.
Oh, we're too loud? You can just pull the browser slider back then.
That's what I'm doing right now.
In OBS. Yeah.
Test. How's that say? Are we sounding okay? Test.
All right.
Anywho, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this is what was going to happen. I think we've been just weirdly complacent over the last few weeks. We had some results that went our way late in the season that were a little flattering, maybe, like including perhaps the win at Red Bull Arena. I mean, not that we deserve to win that game, but you know, you all kind of spotted us 2 goals early. Carlos Coronel had a Coronel. He had a poor game, and I thought, you know, the Red Bulls had something to prove, and we kind of looked a little complacent over the last few weeks. And this year, in our previous 2 games, I thought your press wasn't very good, and that was not the case on Saturday. You all came out very aggressive, very high pressing, and we just weren't ready. We were not ready for it. We just didn't show up in the first half. And then the first goal was a wonder strike. Second goal, kind of weird bouncy thing. So I mean, yeah, it's a cruel game sometimes. I mean, we had like 3 in the second half. I think in game flow, I saw we had 3.8 xG by the end of the game. Not saying you didn't deserve to win it, but you certainly were a little fortunate for it to be that as relaxed as it was. This should have definitely been a little closer in the second half. I mean, the fact that we just couldn't score at all was I guess, yeah, depends on your interpretation of soccer. Is it unlucky? Do we have finishing? I mean, Alonso Martinez, who's been so clinical all season, really missed a couple of good looks. Also, Coronel, in fairness, had a very good game.
And the ref didn't call 2 penalties for you guys. Clear penalties. Should have been a 4-0 game. But the ref was 100% sure.
Clear penalties that you.
That wasn't 2 Red Bull penalties. And both times that they were very crystal clear penalties. Justin Hack handball, clear as day there towards the end. And then there was one, I think also Justin Hack stomped on a guy's foot off ball. And again, the analyst was like, "That's a penalty."
Oh, that one I didn't think that one I was worried about too. I think the handball.
The ref was clearly the ref wasn't CFC. The ref was calling it 4 CFC.
Well, I mean that's always
more competitive.
That's always what you say, right? I didn't have that impression either. There were a couple of. I mean, you know,
it was 2-0. It was 2-0. Justin Hack extends his arm to block the ball, and it's like that's a handball. It should have been 3-0 right then and there. But it's like. We've got 10 minutes left, and the ref's like, this needs the playoff game, so we pretend he missed it. And will you find it in the replay, Bjorn, on MLSsoccer.com? No, you will not. It will not be in the replay. Because state-run media is getting at it. Now, I'm being a little unfair. I thought the ref did call a pretty fair game. I don't believe the ref, but I do think that of the 2 penalties I'm talking about, the Justin Hack handball was a clear missed penalty. I feel that was a total missed penalty. Because he was falling, but his arm raised to the ball, like he was 100% blocking it with his hand in the box. Not allowed to do that. It's not a natural position.
Yeah, I haven't seen a replay. I was on that was far away from me. That's on the other side from where I was. So the first one that was closer to me, I definitely was a little worried about.
It was also just
because
it
seemed and it seemed on replay, it seemed like your guy actually did get the ball first, maybe. So yeah, that one was a little anyway, I mean,
But those are two penalty shots. One a little clearer than the other. But yeah, Seb S in the chat is saying that NYCFC is 71%, Red Bull's 29%. That's how we do it, baby. We have fine-tuned our high press.
Yeah, I mean, it's always, and you have to, game state has a lot to do with that, right? Like once you're 2 goals up, you don't really need the ball. And,
let you tire
I mean, that's also part of a function of our high XG is I think, we were just behind. But like, yeah, it was frustrating.
It was frustrating for you. Bjorn, did you? I was excited because I'm like, Andres Reyes, the game of his life, man of the match. He showed up. John Tolkien showed up. Forsberg showed up. Lewis Morgan showed up. Van Zier showed up. Carballo had the best game of his career.
Lewis Morgan, you promised me was not going to show up.
That's physically. The thing. Because, so this is the Lewis Morgan story. I end up kind of flipping off on the opposite. Lewis Morgan went to Scotland and he pulled himself out early. And then he wasn't training. And I thought, word on the street, that means an injury. But no, Sandro Schwarz, I'll answer your question in a minute, Seb, about Sandro Schwarz. Sandro Schwarz said that his lack of training and gameplay was due to load management. Which means that Lewis Morgan pulled out of Scotland's Nation League games, by the way. These are competitive games early to get ready for this NYCFC playoff.
Well, good for him.
That means he's a legend. So the story's the opposite. He made himself extra ready for this game, and I love that. But my question for you, Bjorn, is
what's your
question?
Did
Tavon Gray show up? Did Justin Hack show up? Did James Sands show up? Like
Tavon Gray didn't play.
But Hack seemed to have like the opposite of Reyes. He had a rough game, I thought. And like James Sands was almost a ghost, right? I'm just like, where is Jimmy Sands?
I don't agree. I thought those two were among the better. I thought Justin Hack. I thought Sands was great. Actually, I think he's been one of our better players recently in a time where, especially offensively, we really were not very good. I thought Justin Hack was I mean, if you think he gave up 2 penalties, then obviously, if that's true, I would have to revise my. I
think the ref saved
my take, but the
ref saved.
I thought he was quite good. I think he showed some real fight after we were down and kind of. Had some forward push as a center back, whereas Thiago Martins just loves a lateral pass as much as Yogi Löw almost. And I think it's interesting. Like there's there's a lot of now. Of course, there's a lot of postseason takes
goal, by the
on
way.
NYCFC Twitter. Yeah, second goal.
Keaton Parks. Everyone was doing a high line offside trap. Keaton Parks did not get the memo.
He kept
the guy on. He was a little slow to get the high line. Kept him on.
That's obviously a problem. Yeah. No, Keaton Parks did not have a great game. Maxi Morales looked tired. Santi Rodriguez didn't have a good game. Alonso Martinez got into a couple good spots. He didn't. Yeah, I mean, our front line, I think overall we were just lacking intensity in the first half, which is really inexcusable. I mean, you take a lot of shots, they don't all go in. Like that's just kind of how it goes. But to kind of be surprised by the intensity of the Red Bull press, I think is that's a no-no. Like you got to be ready. But I think there's been a weird thing about the team lately. There's been a sort of a complacency, a lacklusterness about them. Even in the Cincinnati series that we ended up winning, I think we only really had one really good half out of 6. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, reading all the takes today, it's clearly the team has improved from last year. But it seems like, I don't know, I'm maybe a little more down on this iteration of NYCFC than many others. A lot of people are like, oh, pretty good season. We had a bad game. But overall, a lot of promise, and I don't know. I'm just really left with the feeling of meh. when I think about this. Matt Doyle actually on MLS in his season review for our team, he kind of pointed out, but I've been saying that like we have a lot of money sitting on the bench. There's a lot of like Ojeda and Fernandez. I mean, Cushing subbed. His first sub was Perea for Hannes Wolf, like a midfielder for a winger and I was saying to the people I was with, he knows we're down 2 goals, right? He knows and then he finally brought Fernandez and Ojeda, our expensive wingers, off the bench, with 8 minutes left, but they both haven't played much. And so yeah, there's a real kind of they spent a lot of money on players that are sitting on the bench mostly. And whether it's Berk Riese, whether it's Muncef Bakra or Jovan Mijatovic, they have had 30, and if you can't, Matt Doyle added it up. He said $30 million worth of transfer fees, getting very limited minutes. So there's some bigger issue there where Cushing and the front office have to get on the same page if he's going to stick around, which it seems like he will.
From Sebas. Sebas has been trying to troll you this whole time. You got the chat open in the other window?
I don't. That's probably for the best. Should I open
that? He's coming in pretty hard. But he said, Bjorn, I hope you were not one of the fans that left the game when it was the 90th minute and y'all were losing 2-0.
I did not leave the game, of course. I didn't stick it out. I stuck it out for the entire game, and the slightly cringy over the top Red Bull team celebration. There was a lot of posturing in front of our fans and stuff like that. I mean, I guess
Are you biased? Do you think when you say that?
I'm definitely biased, but I do not think we do that kind of thing. I don't. I mean, there's definitely it's always a. Here's
another one to say about us. Bjorn, if you won MLS Cup, you deserve to be the Kings of New York. Because you won MLS Cup when it was not a pandemic. You mentioned the Philadelphia COVID game. How do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah. Well,
trolling. Well, the New York Rebels have made their way to their 4th Eastern Conference final in history. The last time was 2018 against Atlanta United. We unfortunately do not have a home game against Atlanta United. We go to Florida to face a great Orlando team. I'm feeling much less confident about that. I felt good about this game. I think we were up for it. We were pumped. And like I said last week, the New York Red Bulls is such an experienced team that they can choose how they want to do the season. They used to do the Supporters Shield, but what a veteran team knows is the Supporters Shield doesn't do jack for you in the playoffs. We're learning again this year. We learn every year. So the New York Red Bulls finally made the choice to take the summer off and make sure they're rested and good to go for the playoffs, which is what they're doing now, which is why we're having such a great run. Now, granted, we're going to get past Orlando. In Orlando, I don't know about that. I mean, I think that's a much fiercer battle for us. A longer flight, and Orlando's in good shape.
Right.
I do feel like the Red Bulls were pumped for the playoffs with NYCFC. Yeah, I didn't see. I don't know. I wasn't too scared of NYCFC. Like I said, we were intellectually damaged by them. But I think we're pumped, and I didn't see that same from NYCFC. I think I just saw players going through the motions. I don't know if that's unfair. And then
I think I would agree with you as in the first half for sure, and then we're down 2. I mean in the second half I thought the team showed not only some fight but also some quality. They generated a lot of. I mean, yeah, like I said, 3.8 xG is not nothing. Where'd
they get that from? I felt no threat from NYCFC except for that one time.
In game flow, well, let me see. What is
at the top of the second half? There was that weird bounce. There was that moment where it close. You probably should have scored on that. The one where it was bouncing around in front of our goal, and then there was that moment. Other than that, there was no goal-threating moments.
No, they had Coronel had a couple of big saves. We had Martinez kind of stepped over the ball a couple times and very promising. No, it was not that. It wasn't. It wasn't that we didn't have any. Well, I mean, you weren't to work because we were up 2. If we had scored 1, this would have been a very nervy If we had scored one with any kind of time left, this would have been a pretty nervy game for you. But
it would have been great.
that's not what happened. That's not what happened, and so here we are. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna say we deserve to win it or anything like that. But
anywho, the New York Red Bulls, I thought played a good game. Got over the rivals. It was a sweet victory. You guys had the 2 regular season wins, but we had the playoff win, the one that counted. New York is red. Off to Florida we go, and I do not feel confident about Florida.
Pardon me. Stats Bomb has it. XG models are always wildly different. I saw one on GameFlow that had 3.8. Stats Bomb, which I think is probably the best one, has us at 2.8 and you at 1.0 for XG. And I mean, what's that?
Football's pretty good for that stuff. I imagine probably the same stats. Yeah, I really don't care about XG. I mean, because we just like the possession numbers. If you have 70, you have 30. That means.
Well, I think the possession numbers definitely are really speak to the game state for sure. That if you have a 2-0 lead, you don't need the ball. But I mean, 2.8 that's still a lot of, because those are actual shots that so that's still a lot of. That's a lot of production. That's not nothing. So definitely, and yeah, one goal would have made a big difference. Sebas is saying he will say at the end of the game we're celebrating pretty hard.
Of course, we're supposed to celebrate softly.
It's the NYCFC defense, no right to throw things.
No,
I mean, I think like doing it like provocatively like that in front of the fan section, you inviting that.
I'm never interested in talking about why the NYCFC fan Red Bulls party are. It's always a stupid conversation, and it's always very obvious as to why. There's no reason. Like, I don't understand what were you expecting, a tea party and a handshake? So it's the Red Bulls. It's the Red Bulls and the CFC tonight. When I was there, the police had to come and beat down a bunch of players with their sticks. Beat down a bunch of fans with their sticks. I'm talking about. It's always. I mean, the hate is deep. NYCFC hates Jersey. Jersey hates the fact they're labeled as Jersey. It's deep, and we won. So there you go. The winner, the spoils go to the winner. That's our spoils. Omar Fernandez was in the house, a Bronx boy, a New York Red Bulls man at heart. Him and Daniel Edelman shared a beautiful embrace through the Yankees, through the Citi Field net, the fan net, whatever, the net there between the field and the stands. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. I don't advocate violence ever. I really think that's too much. But you're gonna get drunk, you're gonna get loud, you're gonna yell. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You're not allowed to pretend like NYCFC fans are guiltless.
I think it's always there's a line somewhere. I don't know. And obviously this is very much in the eye of the beholder.
I'm gonna take it easy on you because I know you're only a couple days removed from that. But that is a ridiculous thing. To say there's a line. We never crossed it. You crossed it. You came to us and you were cheering in our faces. Oh, our faces are beautiful faces. How could you? We would never do that. We are men. We are gentlemen, not dirty jerks like you. All right. Anywho, as long as there's no stabbing, no stabbing is all I want to say. But and yes, say about time about winning MLS Cup. Hold your horses. One game at a time.
I think
we got Orlando. All right, now Bjorn quiz. We've won. We've been in the Eastern Conference Finals 4 times. How many of them have we won? Including the upcoming one. So 3. I guess 3. 3 or 4. I think 3.
1?
Now, why do you think we won 1?
Because you were in the final that one time, no?
Yes. But the answer to this trivia question, Bjorn, is 0. The New York Red Bulls have never won.
Oh, because you won it. Oh, you won it when you were the Western Conference champions. That's why.
We won one conference title, and it was the Western Conference title.
MLS is undefeated.
Because of the MLS Quirk School. This was 2008. At the time, the top 4 of each thing got in, and then 5th and 6th were wild card. And we were wild card, and that cinched the West for some reason. and we went on the run. We beat Real Salt Lake in a great run to win the Western Conference. And then we lost 3-0 to Columbus Crew in MLS Cup final. By the way, Guillermo Barra Escaloto, I think he assisted all three. It was a sad day. But that was our one MLS Cup final. We are now back to the Eastern Conference final. We could maybe win our first Eastern Conference final. And if Stefan gets his way, come to LA to play the MLS Cup. And I will be at MLS Cup LA. Probably won't be an MLS Cup Seattle, but it'll be an MLS Cup LA. In the playoff picture, Saturday was the underdogs winning, Sunday was the favorites.
Yeah, very much so.
Seattle was able to knock off LAFC as well, and LAFC people talking about. So here's a big question for you, Bjorn, and this also relates to an earlier question said, S said. Big question, Bjorn: Cushing in or Cushing out?
Well, he's not going to get fired after, getting past the first round and improving. I mean, he's not going to.
How about you? Him in or
yeah,
out?
I mean, I think I am a little over him. I mean, he gave another one of his robot press conferences talking about how the sport is the sport, and sometimes somebody asked him what the difference was to the 5-1. He's like, well, then we took our chances, and today we didn't. It's like, yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious. We scored 5 goals the one time, and we scored 0 goals this time. That's why we lost. Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, he seems there is an oomph missing in the team for sure. Like there is and it doesn't seem like it's more. I mean, but I think I am on the pessimistic side. I think I saw a lot of positivity on NYCFC Twitter. This is unusual. I am not. I don't usually see myself as the sourpuss. But in this, case, I guess, I'm a little bit down on this group. I feel like they're not as good as the sum of their parts. There's a lot of talent languishing on the bench, and I don't see. There's also a lot of talent. We talked about this before. Chanot and Thales Magno are gone, and so. Yeah, there is something's not quite right, and I don't know from the outside. It's hard. It's obviously hard to diagnose exactly, but yeah, I think things do. I don't think all is well, and let's just keep going. That's not my attitude. I'm also not one to be like, oh, it's always the coach's fault necessarily, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how much turnover we'll have in the. On paper, so this team is very. On paper, we have a lot of consistency. I don't think there's a lot of contracts expiring. We have to see what's happening with Maxi Morales, who's older. And I don't know if anybody else wants to leave.
You want a new coach in the offseason?
I mean, that's not going to happen, but I think I do. I would like a change. I would like a change. I would like something.
Yes. So, we're actually doing 1 hour tonight. We're keeping it.
So don't save it. Leave it all out. It's like the playoffs. We're going to leave it all on the field right here.
Leave it all on the field because the main theme this week is our playoff because it's a Schnitzel showdown. Our main theme this week is a breakdown Schnitzel showdown. It's Thanksgiving week, keeping it chill.
And it's not like my German team's doing any better. So
yeah, and the Bundesliga just has themselves a week. I don't know. We'll talk Bundesliga real quick because the big thing with Bundesliga for me is previewing the Champions League. The Champions League performance has been poor. We'll see what that happens this week. But anywho, so do you think it's unfair? Because right after LAFC were eliminated, everyone on Reddit was like, Steve Trundle's got to go. I've had enough. Dolo out. And it seems like, how many, Bjorn quiz, not quiz, but tell the people at home, how many teams are allowed to win the MLS Cup every year?
Oh, just one.
Just one. Yeah, how many teams are there in MLS? 29.
29, I thought 30 next year.
Maybe 30 with San Diego?
No, I think that's the cruelty of the...
Is it fair?
It's the cruelty of the playoff system.
But is it crazy that at the end of the season, 29 fan groups are like, fire coach! Like, is it fair that should Cherundolo's head, are the LFC fans correct to be like, fire Cherundolo?
Well, I mean, I think, are they saying that just for that one game? It's like, it's never just one game, right?
They have the reasons, but everyone has the reasons. If I was Columbus Crew, I'd be like, you don't hear from everybody. I don't think people want to get rid of their Crew head coach, but he lost all their final. You know, like Trundle's only won one. He won the MLS Cup once. And then I think he lost everything else after that. I don't know. People have their reasons.
It seems, yeah, and also it's like, I mean,
but is that fair?
It's like things just, well, is it fair? No, it's not fair. It's never
have a bunch of silver medals. It's like, oh, these.
It's always the coaches. Everything's always the coach's fault. That's not fair at all. Maybe these in the case of NYCFC, maybe these kids are all chumps. The $30 million, maybe the $30 million kids are all busts. It's possible. Maybe this is not on Cushing at all. Maybe he's got a difficult group. We don't know this. So it's always unfair. It's always unfair. The coach is responsible, but I think there's also a shelf life, right? Cherundolo, how long has he been around? So this has got to be his 4 years.
3 seasons, right?
3 seasons. That's
He's their second ever coach after Bob. So
I mean, I think 3 seasons is always a good after 3 years. It's always a good. It's usually a good time, right? To.
I mean, here in MLS, how much are you supposed to change up? You know. I mean, I guess the 3-year thing. Phone's a little whippy. He 2022 he joined LAFC, so it's only 2 years ago.
All right.
So 3 seasons at most.
Yeah.
But Seb asked me what I thought about Sandro Schwarz, the coach. I think he's great. I think he's doing really, really well.
How could you not?
Even if we lose next week. Because when you're allowed to analyze our team, like Struber was terrible, who just played really bad soccer. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I thought Troy Lesesne was great. I wanted to keep Lesesne. But Sandro Schwarz did a good job really being even better. Because our identity clarified, our high press intensified, our players play with a little more verve. And then there was that terrible skid in the summer. But like I said, Forsberg was injured and players were lost. Like Lewis Warren was in Scotland and stuff. Was with the Scottish team at the Euros. So as long as he knew to get his boys ready by the playoffs, which is what I've always wanted to see as a New York fan. That's what's happening now. A lot of European and foreign coaches don't really get our system. And this is Sandro Schwarz's first year. And if he understands that the second half of the season is the season, like the great Bruce Arena coach quotes, then I love it. So I have no complaints with Sandro Schwarz. I think he's doing well here. And I look forward to him moving forward next year. A great team just lost their coach as well, and Tata Martino. He's no longer the Inter Miami coach.
Yeah, personal reasons. Do I buy? What do I buy?
Well, part of our conversation is he was crashed out of the first round. Do you think he was let go? Or do you think you think it's legitimate?
I think he had some family. Didn't he say he has to go to Argentina? He has some family situation.
The word on the street is his wife wants to go back to Rosario. However, is there
if everything was perfect, if everybody was perfect, if everything was perfect, he would stay. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Well, now he's getting. They're getting Javier Mascherano. That's going to be interesting. He was a great player. I think that's borderline official.
What's his coaching experience like?
Zero coaching experience.
That sounds like a disaster to me.
He's just retired recently, and that's going to be
an MLS Cup veteran coach, winning MLS Cup veteran coach.
That's going to be interesting.
Tata was the perfect coach for them. I hope, if I'm Inter Miami owner, if I'm David Beckham, he's like, I gotta go. I would offer him a house. I'd be like, let's figure this out. You can take my private jet to Miami every 3 weeks. The word on the street is his wife lives in Argentina and never came with him. I don't know why she's allergic to living as a millionaire in Miami.
And he's feeling lonely.
Well, from what I understand, it's his wife. I think his wife, somebody's wife. I always blame the wife, I guess. And that's just the word on Reddit. I don't know what's going on, but I hope he wasn't let go because they didn't win MLS Cup this year, because that would be foolish. I mean, the turnaround of that team, winning the Supporters Shield, breaking the record, and Tata Martino's experience, he's the perfect coach. I mean, you can't convince me you can get anybody else. Coach the club as well as he did. So this Mascherano with no experience in MLS, that sounds like a disaster to me. and I cannot wait to tune in. I can't wait to tune in.
I mean, he's definitely a sharp guy. He's got the. I mean, you always thought that he would be a coach someday, and but yeah, he hasn't done it, and we'll see. It'll be very interesting. Vinny Santini got let go by Vancouver also today.
I like Vinny Santini. He was a character.
Yeah, so he's out. So there's a bunch of turnover, and maybe there were these rumors of Arsenal women going after Nick Cushing. Maybe that's what's going to happen. There's always rumors. Now we're going to see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Philly needs a coach.
There's a lot of vacancies.
Jim Curtin may go to.
I put him in Chicago.
Vancouver. I thought Greg Berhalter's in Chicago.
So is he both the coach and the sporting director?
He is both the coach and the sporting director. Yeah, Greg Berhalter, who is the worst. I just want to go on record here. He's the worst coach in the history of U.S. soccer, probably in the history of coaches.
Of all U.S. soccer, not even the US
of all coaches ever.
You're not taking this seriously.
Internationally, Greg Berhalter is the worst one of all.
Okay, you're not taking this seriously. The bet was that if I win, you have to say Greg Berhalter is the worst U.S. national team coach in our modern era, or of all time. And then if you won, I would have to say, what would I have to say? I said something else. I forgot what it was.
It's irrelevant. We'll save it to next time.
So you have to say specifically why Greg is worse.
Why Greg Berhalter is the worst U.S. men's national team soccer coach of the modern era.
Right.
Why is this the case? Just terrible coaching. And also,
have you noticed the U.S. has gotten much better under better coaching? Like their home game against Jamaica was nice.
I mean, it's an overwhelming sample size, and the results. The results are in. Yes, the results are in. Yes, we know now for sure that this golden generation has been unshackled.
Okay. I'm not buying it. You're dragging your feet.
He has been. I mean, starting Jesus Ferreira against the Netherlands, that's number one. That was the worst thing he did. Not bringing. Did he bring Pepe?
He did not bring Pepe to the World Cup.
Did not bring Pepe. Should have brought Pepe.
Who's the leading scorer in Holland right now, coming off the bench?
Should have for sure brought Pepe.
Yeah. His Copa America performance was
can't run a national team like a club team.
Right?
Too complicated. Too much system.
How was his discipline? How was his discipline with the guy?
Discipline, terrible. Too friendly, soft. Just a softness about him.
He enabled Serginho Dest.
Sneaker-brained, very sneakers on the brain all the time.
Like a child.
Lots of commercial distractions.
Do you think Tata Martino has 100 Nike sneakers in his closet at home?
Not at all. Not at all. Tata Martino, soccer, unless his wife overrides. Otherwise, it's soccer. Greg has all kinds of distractions. Too many consonants in the name. Why 3 G's?
Why is he worse than Steve Sampson? Because he used to be Steve Sampson, but Greg beat Steve for worst coach. Why do you think he beat Steve for worst coach?
Baldness and results. Bad results. Nations League is not a league, or Nations Cup is not a cup. It's a friendly. It doesn't count. Nations Cup wins don't matter.
I think you're dragging your feet on this. I think you're finding ways out of this. You're doing the old, what's it called? The old reverse compliment or whatever it's called.
What?
You're doing the reverse compliment.
What am I doing? What am I doing wrong?
Backhand. I said you have to tell him like Greg versus Steve Sampson immediately through his Nations League titles.
I don't even know what's. I can't. I don't know enough.
It's fine. It's good. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Sampson led in the last place France 98, but Sammy's in the Copa.
That's the guy who lost to Iran. Yeah. How is he? I mean, beats me. How is he worse?
Because we got grouped at home in the Copa. It's the worst thing in U.S. history.
Okay. That's it.
Getting last place at a World Cup in France is one thing, but getting last place at the home Copa that you host.
The home Copa. Why did he tell Tim Weah to get that red card? That was not good.
Hold on. We just said it's or Serginho Dest is because his discipline with the campus badge.
Right.
Not like they should. But anywho, you're off the hook. Bjorn Schnitzel says Greg is the worst coach of all time. I tend to agree.
I'm glad we're. This is the what I mean, but it
LA
seems
Galaxy,
like even now, we still are not in agreement. Even though I'm trying to say what you want me to say, I'm still not doing it right.
It's good enough for me. You said say it loud and clear. Just say it so I can clip it and put it on TikTok. Say it for the TikTok.
Greg Berhalter is the worst U.S. men's national team coach of the modern era.
Nice.
That's it.
And of all time. I don't know why I'd say modern era. There's no way.
I don't know.
Maybe Deb McClama is better. Deb McClama is.
Deb McClama. We're gonna.
Deb McClama, U.S. coach of the 70s.
All right. Well,
anywho, LA Galaxy.
My debt is paid. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. LA Galaxy got themselves a good win. Of the 5 big teams I predicted to win MLS Cup, the LA Galaxy is the only one still living in the conference finals.
They got 6 goals. I kept saying that the Galaxy at one point their poor defense is going to be their downfall, but I mean maybe that may not happen.
Not with their awesome ass offense. Yeah, the
if
LA Seattle game.
If they're going to score 6 every game, they can defend any way they want.
To me, they're still. I had good feelings about them. They're still my darlings, and they will go down. By the way, I just want to give props. Remember how last year was the year of the fan, the year of the reckoning? Well, the LA Galaxy fans demanded Chris Klein out. They just knew. They gave him 14 years, 10 seasons.
Yeah.
And they're like, we've had enough. Out. And they really put forth effort into it. And the LA Galaxy, after months of not doing it, they finally replaced him with this whiz kid from LAFC, Will Kuntz, I think his name was. Some nerdy nobody from the office.
Well, don't call him a nobody. Well, I met
at the time.
I met him years ago when I did my editing thing.
Somebody. You're undercutting my story here. If he's a nobody, it makes this twist better. However, in 1 year's time, he has taken the LA Galaxy, who's never made the playoffs in like 10 years, to being like the favorites of the MLS Cup. Let's go one of the greatest fan-induced office turnarounds in league history. Well done, LA.
Yeah, he deserves huge credit. I mean, those are 2 DP signings. You'd have to really struggle to find a precedent for that working so well. Like them just getting off the plane and completely transforming a team.
Joseph Pencil and Gabriel Peck. And I love that Japanese center back. I don't know why you pooping him all the time. Kimura, President Kukura. Should look it up. And then, lest we forget, Marco Voice is hanging out. Ricky Puig is a man possessed this year. And then Marco Voice is hanging out there, too. Don't forget the Voice.
Yeah, and he's starting. He was starting, right? He's somehow I don't even understand. I didn't watch the whole game. I don't even understand how that works in the formation. Like how does he? They're just going to throw them all in and score 6 goals and then whatever. Hope for the best in the back.
Also, this speaks so well of Greg Vanney because Greg Vanney was the U.S. super coach back in the day during this Toronto days. He turned Toronto around, won the cup with them, and So LA Galaxy paid a pretty penny to bring him in. And for years under Chris Klein, there wasn't much talk about the LA Galaxy. They only got rid of Chris Klein. They did not get rid of Greg Vanney. And if Greg Vanney starts winning MLS Cups, these boys, and it's a little early, then maybe Greg Vanney's back on the hot list. Maybe it wasn't. Goes to show you how much the front office matters. It really does.
Yeah. I mean, I still think they're going to trip up at some point, but.
So who's going to win?
I mean,
you think it's Seattle or Orlando?
Well, it's wide open. You know what I was looking up? If you're looking at Supporters Shield standings, right? Because you were saying about it. There's 29 teams. So we've got number 4 against number 7. That's the Western Conference Finals, and we have number 9 against number 16 in terms of Supporters Shield placement. So that's just
West
crazy. In the East, well, in the overall Supporters Shield, all 20. If you were ranking all 29 teams, LA Galaxy, they're 4th, and Seattle is 7. And in the East, Orlando is 9, and the Red Bulls are 16th. So this is just how wild the playoffs are. So it's really anybody's cup now.
Who is the lowest? This is something to look up. This might have been that 2010 season you keep talking about. I'm curious as to who the lowest ranked team number one MLS Cup was. I mean, if the Red Bulls win this year, it might be the Red Bulls. I'll take it. But when we made our MLS Cup final run in 2008, we just squeaked in the playoffs. We were not something to sing home about. But we had a great run when it mattered, and to be 100% honest,
is low.
Say it by close your ears. Red Bulls, close your ears. I think we're done in Orlando. I mean, I hate to say it.
Really? You're just calling it now.
My heart wants to win the MLS Cup. My dream is that the LA Galaxy will host the New York Red Bulls, and the New York Red Bulls will win it here in LA, and I'm going to storm the field, and I'm going to lift. I'm going to sit on Sandro Schwarz's shoulders, and he's going to run me around the field, and I'm going to be like, I don't know why it's me. I don't know why it's like, whatever I've always been cheered on.
You won the lottery.
That's my dream. That's my heart. And MLS is unpredictable, so my heart could win out. But my brainy brain, which has been pretty false, because I thought Miami and at least LAFC and Columbus will have a better postseason. I think Orlando's going to win the East. They've had a pretty good year. They're at home. They had a very confident game against Atlanta. Atlanta had nothing. It was all Orlando. I think it was only a 1-0 game, but it was Orlando's game the whole time. Now granted, the Red Bulls, like I said, they got their high press. They're ready to go. It's going to be a harder game for them, but it's going to be tight down there in Orlando. It's going to be tight. And Seattle and LA always have each other's number. There's just a weird thing about legacy in MLS. Certain teams always make it to the Final 4 or the Final 8. And Seattle Sounders on that list, right? They're never Supporters Shield winners. Right? They're not really during the season, it's hit or miss. But when the playoffs are on, they show up.
It was a very, also like an odd game. I watched a bunch of that game, the LAFC. I mean, it seemed like
it was a weird
they would pull it out, but they didn't.
Yeah,
so in that sense, the Galaxy could also get tripped up. And then if it was like Seattle against, really either Red Bulls or Orlando, pretty lackluster.
And I think I'm trying to think.
Lackluster final.
Seattle host over Orlando, right? So it's going to be either Seattle.
Yes, definitely the Western team's going to host, no matter what, no matter how this all shakes out. But yeah.
For airfare purposes,
Red Bulls against Orlando, man, that's a tough one. It's like, I'm rooting for there to be an earthquake or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
They both play the game on the earthquake.
Is there a way in which both of these teams can lose?
No.
Well,
winner's going to win. Winner's going to win. I just learned in science class last week that an earthquake interrupted a World Series. Did you know that? They had to stop the game.
I did know that, yes. Mm-hmm.
89, right?
Yeah, San Francisco, right? Or LA?
Or Oakland, or up there, San Francisco, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Oakland A's, right? So it was Oakland or something. But it's just crazy. So it has happened before. But, they're just going to play the game the next day. It's not like it cancels sport or anything. But anywho, that is MLS. It's fun. It's just blown wide open.
Yeah, we've got Bundesliga is everybody dropped. No, nobody dropped points. But Bayern keeps winning, and so they're very much in control.
Hat-trick from one Harry Kane.
From Harry Kane, yes. The Harry Kane curse ending. Harry Kane curse ending this year. Perhaps.
Bayfield got a good win this weekend.
Everybody looked good. And for Bochum, after one week of celebrating a tie as if we had won something, it's back to normal. Stuttgart beat us. Sebas S is I can't argue with you tonight, even though I hate everything you're saying. I think you're probably not wrong.
Even though you're trolling me,
Anyway. And but it's Champions League this week. We have Bayern against PSG, Inter against Leipzig, and Leverkusen against Salzburg. But yeah, and then on Wednesday, Red Star Belgrade hosting Stuttgart and Dortmund at Dinamo Zagreb. So these are all kind of, I mean, Leipzig at Inter and Bayern against PSG are the harder ones, but everybody else should hopefully get some points. But it's been weird.
Yeah. Dortmund, I guess, has been strong. But Dortmund and Stuttgart are on the road, so they should be getting points. But they're also in, one's playing in Croatia and the other's playing in what was it, Zagreb, and what was the other one?
Belgrade, Red Star.
Belgrade. So on the road, it's going to be tough environments for them probably. Leverkusen should get points over Salzburg. You think, but they've been kind of underperforming. But it's do or die time. How many match days are left? I think there's only 3 match days left, right? I mean, it's the end of November.
For the before the winter break. In the big Champions League. No, we got 4. Left. We're halfway.
How are they do that schedule? Are the games in January?
Yes.
Oh, so it's not over until. The table doesn't end until January.
There's only one. There's 2 more, and then there's 2 in January.
Oh.
2 match days in January. We got this. Then we got 1 more in December. Then we've got late January. There's 2, and then we have the playoffs in February, and then the knockouts don't start until March.
That'll be interesting because some of these Champions League games happen after the winter break. Interesting.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because of the extra games. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you can't really squeeze anything, can't fit anything else into the fall. I mean, with all the international breaks, and there really is no room.
And with Nations League being off till March, do it now. We gotta do it these months now. Well, anywho, there you go. Germany,
all right.
Best in Europe. MLS heating up. Our Red Bulls still alive. Believe, baby.
MLS is done. There's no heating up. It's over.
No, not for me. The Schnitzel Dream, the Schnitzel Traum Finale. LA Galaxy hosting the New York Red Bulls. OG team. New York, LA.
My God.
And then the New York Red Bulls win, and everyone
say that.
Carries me
but
around.
Orlando, I don't want Orlando to make the final either.
Me neither. They don't deserve it. The Red Bulls deserve it. We deserve this, baby.
No, you guys are chumps.
We OG.
Classless chumps.
Yeah, we're not classy. We're OG. We're soccer. We're soccer incarnate, baby. Yeah. From the Metro Stars to the Red Bulls.
You're not owned by a multinational conglomerate, unlike us. Oh, well.
It's New York City we're talking about. New York City doesn't have billionaires. I don't know if you know that. All foreigners do have to be foreign because New York City has no rich people in the area. But anywho, all right, everybody, this has been Schnitzel Pod. We will have a happy Thanksgiving, good holiday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
And by next Monday, we'll know what the MLS Cup looks like, right?
We'll know what the final is. Yeah, we will. It's all happening this weekend.
Will it be the Schnitzel Traum?
Will Michaela Schifrin win her 100th World Cup race at the Killington World Cup this weekend?
Hey.
Tune in to NBC. The giant slalom is on Saturday, the slalom on Sunday. This is good stuff. Ski racing is fun.
Tune into our channel. Bjorn will be live streaming all these events while skiing on the Schnitzel Boys stream.
That's right.
He'll be bothering these
if I can get out of bed, if my depression lifts by then.
Well, maybe they'll fire Nick Cushing and they'll hire Jim Curtin. Which would be cool.
Oh my God! No, not a fan. Not a fan of that idea.
Maybe Steven Cherundolo?
Pellegrino Matarazzo.
Pellegrino's available? Would you take Pellegrino?
I would take Pellegrino.
Patrick Vieira is available, isn't he?
Patrick Vieira is going to Genoa. That was a kind of a surprise thing because everybody was acting like he was going to coach Atlanta, but then he's not going to.
Maybe anyway, Martino will go to
he's not coming back.
Cheers.
All right.